Hello everyone, it's Serafina. Today we're going to be doing a tour of Mount Lydia Church Cemetery. So let me show you the sign really quick. I haven't done any updates in a while. The last time I posted an update, I hadn't gotten into the trail as far as I have now, but I have about 42 minutes to do this, so I'll try to make it quick. We're going to have a lot of traffic today, so you may hear a couple trucks going by. Firstly, I have my signs that I've put up, obviously, because we have so many speeders around this area. I think that was just the neighbor coming in. But here's the sign that I put in. I wasn't able to get anything from the historical foundation or whatever, and so I just made it myself. I put like a reflector here beside the road, so at night maybe people will, kind of slow down a little bit. There's a couple of deer bones and things that I've put down here below the sign, some rocks. VDOT actually came through recently, completely obliterated several tombstones, headstones that these poor folks had made from rocks. That's all they had, and destroyed them. So I took the broken pieces and did the best I could. Here's a sign that says, "Please do not litter," because every day I pick up trash. So as you can see, there's several rocks here. Those are actually headstones. I'm going to give you a little bit more history as we go along about this place, unless you've seen it already. Then I should probably fill you in regardless. Here is one of the headstones that VDOT destroyed. Cracked it completely in half, and I took some of the pieces and put them other places. I didn't really know what to do, so I hope that I wasn't being disrespectful. Inside the woods, I don't know if you can see some tombstones or what. We're along the road, so you can see the amount of litter is just obnoxious, but my fiance recently mowed here with the John Deere, which was really kind of him, and he picked up trash while he was here. So let me see if I can... Sorry, truck. I have to forewarn you again, there's going to be traffic that comes by. Just pay no mind to the traffic. I can't help living so close to the road. Even though the house is a little far back from the road, we still have litterers, people that park in the driveway, and people that literally play golf in the cemetery. So we're 3 minutes in. We have a little sign that says, "Private cemetery, no trespassing, smile, you're on camera." That is not to keep people out that are going to be respectful. I have recently redone this trail. It's to keep people out that are going to be disrespectful and play golf in here. So before we go in, I will show you a little bit about the cemetery, simplified here, in a book called The Bond of Iron. It's by Charles B. Dew and other authors. Photographers, all kinds of things. Master and Slave at Buffalo Forge. And most people have no idea that this book is about this place. I've dog-eared a few things in here. Whoops, can't hold the phone and then the book in the same page. So this is a picture in black and white of gravestones in the Freedman Cemetery at the site of the Mount Lydia Colored Baptist Church. And South Carolina Educational Television posted this on TV, I guess. But you can see it's all just woods. I can see one headstone in there. You probably can't. These are headstones at Mount Lydia. Whether or not you can see those very well. Obviously, VDOT did not care that they were headstones. They actually charged me for defending this place because I did that recently, and I'm not ashamed of it. I'll do it again if I have to. But these are gravestones at Mount Lydia. So they look like rocks, I know. But they are featured in this book, which I was really glad to see them featured. And then we have, sorry for my awkwardness here. I'm trying to show you, and it's just hard to do. I'm outside, and I have a book in one hand and a phone in the other. But this is a map of the Buffalo Forge in Rockbridge County, Virginia. And you can see all kinds of things going on here. I wish I could point out to you exactly where it is, but I'm going to try my best with my finger. Oh God. We are right here at the slave cemetery. That's where we're at. So here's a big map. There's a road from down the road all the way to me. And my house is right here in this empty space. It's where I live today. But in 1870, this slave cemetery was established. And it's on Buffalo Forge. So that's how I'm going to show you today. Here's the back of the book, Bond of Iron. Again, I'm really sorry. This is kind of rough. I'm only one man. I don't have any fancy equipment. Just an old cell phone that I should probably throw in the trash. And I don't have anybody to help me except my fiance, who's kind enough to do what he can on his days off. So let's get started. I've got a few more minutes while my kid's taking a nap. So let's go ahead and go through this trail. I have done 90% of this by myself. And Brian has helped me when he could. But again, 90% of it I've done myself. So let's go down the trail as if we are an outsider coming in. You've never been here before. I'm going to hope that most of you do not try to come to my house because I'd probably be terrified and call 911. But I don't mean to like send people away that are trying to visit their family. I feel bad because recently we had some folks come in and I was really sensitive at the time and I told them to leave. And I am pretty sensitive because I feel like the folks that have family here should probably come see and clean up the graves, and no one does. I understand that they're elderly, but what about in their younger years, you know? So anyway, there's probably a reason for everything. This in front of me is a headstone that's overturned that I would like to pick up one day. This is probably the marker that goes to the headstone. There's a fly on me, I don't know why. And there's several rocks everywhere. These are all headstones. This path that I made, including this, it looks like a tree, but it's not. It's a headstone. This whole path that I made is littered with graves. Like, you're literally walking on graves. So I'm trying so hard not to be disrespectful. Every time I come in here, I either pick up litter or I'm moving like another pile of debris and brush that I need to cart down to the burn pile. And here's a headstone. There's so many more headstones that I have not uncovered because I have kids and not a lot of time. It just rained today. So it's all wet. I'm in my galoshes, my bright pink boots. So this is a headstone right in front of me. And this is the bottom of the grave. So this is kind of a empty grave here. Most of the bodies were buried in blankets or boxes, I assume. A lot of trucks, all the time. So a lot of the bodies were not buried in coffins. They just didn't have the money for that. So a lot of the graves have just hollowed out over the years because the body's gone. It's decomposed. It's fully gone into the earth. There's no remains or anything. The only thing left is probably just the rocks that are marking the grave. So we are still respectful because whether or not their body has any remains left over these hundreds of years, I mean, it's been since 1870. Regardless of whether or not that's true, we still have a final resting place that needs to be respected. So here are 4 graves. You can see 4 headstones here made of rock. And everything is just going on today. I swear, I come out here to make a video and I'm just hearing trucks. It honestly makes me pretty nervous, but you know, it is what it is. So here we are into the cemetery. We've got 4 graves. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I have a pile of brush in front of me. On this side, I have a trail going this way, and then I have a trail going this way. So I'm really working on everything at once. If you can see, I'm trying to clear what's left of this trail that goes back to the house. And then I'm trying to make a new trail up this way, which goes to the last remaining pastor. His grave is in this cemetery, and he's way up there, and I haven't gotten to it today. But it does have words on it and epitaphs and everything. So here's a couple more. Apologize for the brush on them. I am going to clean that up. I just wanted to get this video out and show you guys everything I've been working on, because really, truly, it's a work in progress. I have been buying flowers as I can afford them, fake flowers, and putting the arrangements on rocks that I can find, especially graves that don't have words on them, like here lies Betsy, here lies Mary Lou, here lies Abby, you know, like, so I've been just trying to put flowers on them first, so that we'll know that's a grave, that's a grave, that's a grave. So you can see I have a trail going all the way up to this fallen tree, and then right over the side of it, and that's it. That's as far as I've gotten. And then there's some graves I've uncovered right here. So we're going to go up here today. You're probably wondering why I haven't yet, but I wanted to kind of slow down and show you the graves. You know, maybe you haven't seen the other video, and I'll try to post a link to it down below. Years and years ago, these are a couple graves. There's one over there, and there's one here. And years ago, I'm not sure who. I'm not going to say who, because my mind doesn't work right. My memory does not work correctly most days. But they left this bucket after they were cleaning, and it's still here. So I got to go get that. I'm not going to get it right now, because this is me. This is the brush. I'm just going to make a video today. But that is on my to-do list for this week, which is why, as much as I'm on YouTube, I'm not on it as much as, I don't know. I take that back. I'm on here way too much, and I should be doing other things instead outside. So we're up here, we're up top, and you can see big headstone for the preacher back there. Several of them back there, and there's one over there that you can't see, but I know you can see that one past this little pawpaw, which they are getting to be pretty big. They're almost ripe. The seeds look like I don't know, just Google a pawpaw seed, because I don't know how to explain it. I've seen a lot of them in deer droppings or just pawpaw droppings. So there's a grave marker right there. And the brush I have not uncovered, and there are so many graves over this way, it's not funny. Like, there's one right through there that you can't see, but I can see. There's just so many, and I'm only one man with no help, except for Brian. My mom's getting up in years, so she is not to be expected to be doing any of this. I have taken it upon myself to be the caretaker of the cemetery, and I feel good about that. I feel like it's my duty. I've lived here my whole life in this house, on and off, and I just feel like there's no one else here. And if I want to do one good thing with my life, I would like to take care of this cemetery and at least show some respect and let them know they're acknowledged. They are here. And it's not like a Black Lives Matter thing. That's a new thing. That's a trend. For me, it's human. It's human respect. And I've always just loved these people, these folks, because they felt like a family that I never had, that I could just go see them whenever I wanted to. So over here is some flowers. Try not to step on this grave. Flowers, there's a grave there and a grave over there. Every time I try to weed eat around the flowers, I hit them, and I'm kind of scared to do it again because I'm, too much in a hurry to pick up the flower and put it back, right? I mean, I need to start doing that, but then I feel like I'll lose my place. So I really hope that you can see everything I've done. I would like to put a path, like maybe like a tree or fence post kind of thing along the edges of the path, so you can see the trail, where the trail is supposed to go. But I just, I don't know. I feel like it also attracts snakes and things that slither, copperheads and stuff. Run wild in Virginia, so I'm not trying to attract those. I want to make this a kid-safe environment. And by the way, my youngest loves walking this trail, especially with his dad. And, well, all of us together, really. I need to pick up these sticks because they're covering up an entire grave. Like, that's the headstone and that's the footstone. Right there at the bottom, the sun's hitting it and you can't see it. And that's kind of disrespectful of me. I just didn't know where to put the stick pile, and I had trouble. And then we have a grave here, and that's the headstone. And the footstone at the bottom, you can kind of see it in the shadows. And here's another rock. I'm pretty sure it's a headstone. And then you have a whole bunch here. I mean, these are river rocks, but they weren't put here at random, you know. In here, I think this is probably my favorite little section right now. I just love this little shady alcove. They planted these 3 trees. I'm pretty sure someone did this on purpose, or maybe they didn't. I don't know. There's 3 trees because it's a triangular pattern of 3 graves, or 3 families. And it's like a flower shape of graves. And it's really cool. If you saw it from above in the original way, I'm pretty sure it would look like a flower. It's really cool, really unique, and I love this spot. I love how it's shaded, like a little lagoon, and I love what they did when they were planning it out in this little cemetery. So, headstone, 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 and then there's one right there. Hard to see, I know. This one looks nice because I put a flower next to it. And then we get over here on the trail. We're still on the trail. That's the trail that way. And then we have a whole little path around here. It's kind of weird. If you're an outsider, it's weird. But for me, I just know this trail. I've been working on this part. This section is new. It's something to work on next. I had all kinds of trails going on. As you can see, another stick pile. Another grave with sticks in it. And another headstone. It says Marshall. The last name is Marshall, but I cannot read it from here. The good news is I have been trying to uncover this headstone for a good 15 years of my life, or couldn't get to it, especially when I was younger. So it's covered by briars, and I'm closer to it now than I've ever been. Like, I could get within 5 feet of it. So that's good. And then there's a cluster of graves this way. There's a foot marker for either Marshall or someone next to them. And then we have, this might be the foot marker for Marshall. So there's a foot marker, and there's a foot marker. And all through here is also graves that I just need to clean it up. But we're going to get there. So this is another trail that I made. You're probably confused right now. You're like, where is she going? Where is she taking me? And her phone is moving so much. And I just wanted to apologize for that. Do the best I can with what I've got. And I don't need what I have not. That's what I was taught. That rhymed. So here's that little cluster again. I just love that little spot. And then right here we have a grave. I did not weed eat these periwinkles down, so this is all a big cluster of periwinkles into the sinking grave. And then right here, I have a trail here, and it goes around this tiny pawpaw tree, which I decided not to cut at the time. Kind of conflicted about it because it's right in the center, but I love pawpaw trees. See, they're just coming up, ripening up here, so I just love them. I want to be buried very, very close, just a few yards away from here, so when my kids are looking for me, this is the cemetery you can find me in. I will be the one under the Celtic cross. So anyway, I'm going off on a tangent because I have ADD, and I apologize for that. This is a grave next to the trail, so I put this stick here so that you would see the stick and say, oh, that's a grave, I don't want to fall in. This particular grave, to me, feels like a keep out, leave me alone, stop touching me. Probably because I constantly was working in this section for the longest time, And I'm actually going to keep going because I want to leave them alone and respect them. I was constantly working in that section for the longest time. I had a stick pile right here in this area, and and now it's over there, right on top of their grave, and they're just tired of me being over here. They just want me to leave them alone, and I always apologize to that person that's buried there because I have no idea who it is, but I feel like it's a man, and he just wants to be left alone so that he can rest in peace, right? And he's right here on the main path that I made, and that's not his fault, and I didn't mean to do it on purpose either, and I feel bad because he's trying to rest and I'm not letting him. So I'm kind of a clairvoyant. I don't see ghosts, but I can feel it. This is a place that's just full of different personalities. This is just a chimera of personalities in here. Most of them are very sweet, old, tired, good Christian folks, just tired and old, and they've always been kind spirits to me and my family because we respected them. So I'm trying to show this grave, and I'm going off at a tangent again. So this one I put fake daffodils on, and this one I put, I think, pink begonias. I'm not sure what they're called. And they're overgrown, you can't see them, so I may as well keep going. There's some pawpaws though, so. Alright, so anyway, let's back up a little bit so you can kind of see what I'm doing. So I'm right here on the trail. I came around this way. There's where we came from, and I came around this corner. And here I am. I'm going around this tree. Now this was an odd spot when I started putting it together. Putting the trail in perspective. I was like, how do I do this? I think I'm going to go through here and clear this. But it's right around the edge of these graves, which I am trying to figure out how to clear it without killing all the periwinkles, because they're so darn beautiful when they come up, which should be soon because they're getting greener and greener. So I gotta go around these tree roots. You have to literally, it's like, and then here's a headstone or footstone right in the path, which I hate stepping on. So you go around this tree and try not to trip over it, especially when it's wet like this, which it normally is wet in here because the sun doesn't hit it as much as the other yard. So it's just really mossy and lots of ferns. So we come around here and you can see the trail coming out of the cemetery, and this big tree is about where their property line ends. It's not very much land for a cemetery. The property line, modern day property line, ends here at this tree because they sold a lot of land to us white folks, or the white folks took it. I don't know what happened, but we ended up with a beautiful little 4-acre property connecting to this, and this is not our property. But anyways, coming back up here, you can see what it would look like if I were to go up the trail to the cemetery. And I have to go up this winding path, try not to die, and then I go around in a circle, and then I'm back on this path. And then you can go through here. If I were to cut down those baby trees, you could go through there as well. And then there's that grave right in the center that's going to be covered in periwinkles. That's like a big focal point. So pretty. Going to be so pretty. And I'm trying to really see, here's one. Going to be periwinkles here too. I'm trying to make these graves focal points of the path, just like you would see in a garden. Like a Lexington, Virginia has all of these well-put, well-maintained gardens, but folks like this, they got nothing. They're the poor folks, and so they don't matter. And that really pisses me off to no end, that the poor folks mean nothing compared to the rich, especially when they're black. And for me, again, it's not a race card, it's just humanity. Where is the humanity? But I think in this town it is racism. So here we are at the property line. There is a tree branch here. I thought about cutting it up. It's actually a root in the ground. I kind of like the aesthetic here, kind of across the path. So what you do is you just walk right here in the center, put your foot on the center, and you're good to go. And then you're on the trail. And so that marks, it's pretty cool to me how it marks the property line in its own way from Mount Lydia to my house. So this officially well, as far as I'm concerned with the health department, because we have to be 50 feet away from Mount Lydia Church Cemetery to bury our family. Our family graves have to be at least 50 feet away from their property line, which, according to the documents that I have, this is the property line. But I do see these graves right here, which are a little bit forward. So I'm going to say the property line is actually right here. But to me, it doesn't matter because that orange cone is more than 50 feet from this spot. Brian and I have measured it already, so we're good to go. And they can always check. Hopefully, nobody's going to die for a long time, so we won't need to worry about that. But we have everything kind of set in the works. So anyway, we're on the trail. I completely forgot to show you any signs, so I'm going to go back and show you the signs that I made when I get there. I just put them on today, so that's probably why I didn't show them to you. But here's one of them. There's only there's only 3 of them, and this is one of them that I put up, so it's probably why I totally forgot, because I just put them up and I decided to start recording. So here we go down to the trail. We're going to get to the bottom, and you can see this gorgeous little trail. Now where this pink tape is on this tree is where I used to make Dallas stop, and he couldn't go any further until I had gone a little bit more into the trail and worked on it. And I have worked on it a lot since then. So we're coming out. There are 2 exits. One exit is closed right now because lightning hit recently, about a month or 2 ago, and knocked this tree completely down. There's also some deer beds over there. We have a mother deer and her baby, her fawn, and we try to keep this a wildlife reserve because we have a lot of hunters and they know that they're safe here. The deer know that they're safe here. I put a water bucket and everything out for the mom and the baby. The baby still has spots on it, the fawn. And so they sleep on the other side of that tree. And so I tend to just leave them alone. So that trail is closed. I recently weeded it on the other side, and I'll show you at some point. But today, I might not get to it because I have 10 minutes left. So going backward, I know my sign has leaves on it, but I made these. I Mod Podged them and used the outdoor Mod Podge. This is a sign that points you to Mount Lydia Church Cemetery, established in 1870, and then a little rock has a bird on it and says hope. I have lots of tape. I had used this when I was initially cutting, so it would help me make a path, and I have really worked hard on this. So we're coming down to Mount Lydia Memorial Garden, which is our cemetery, named respectfully for Mount Lydia Colored Baptist Church. This is the sign pointing in the direction to Mount Lydia Memorial Garden, established in 2020. So I did that, again, out of respect. And there's no graves here yet. Hopefully there won't be for a while. But there are enough plots, in my own words, for, I'd say 10 folks. But I want to be buried right here in this spot. So if you're looking for me, Amy, Seamus, Alex, Dallas, I'm right under this pawpaw tree right here. And it's probably going to be a lot bigger, but there's a big pawpaw tree right there that will stay big. So I have 4 cones marking the corners. I would like to put a black cast iron fence up one day when I can afford it. Maybe even white, that might look good, but I prefer black. And I'd like to put black cast iron around the entire property. So this is the cone that covers up this little tree that I haven't cut down yet, and that's so that you won't trip over it. That's why it's right there in the middle of the trail. Here's a tree I need to cut down. And then we're coming to the end of the trail. So let me turn around and kind of show you how beautiful it is. If you come in, you'll see this. Just lovely. Look at those leaves starting to fall. I know it's August, but for me, August is fall. Like, it's not summer anymore. It's still hot some days, but it gets cold other days, and it's like that in between, and you can kind of figure out in your own head which one it is. But for me, personally, it's fall. It's officially fall. That's because I love fall so much. I just can't wait anymore. These are my favorite plant in the entire cemetery. Aside from the periwinkles, the ferns I have cultivated, and I have made a little display of these guys, and I would love to put an angel statue right in the center. I bought one recently, but it lights up, and I felt like the batteries would corrode. I mean, it was like $50, and if it rained on it, it would get destroyed, and they're just so fragile. So I need to get some concrete ones that'll last longer and put them out here. And then we just have this little thing which you walk over, a bunch of moss, and our little exit. And then you come, and my house is right out the other side of here, and I'm not going to show you what my house looks like because it's YouTube, and I frankly don't trust anyone on the internet. But going back in, this is the main trail, so let's try to go back in 10 minutes, and I'll show you my signs. I have angels at the entrance. I have at the other entrance that I told you about, which has the deer chilling in there right now. That's their home. We're not going to go to that entrance today. We're just going to stick to this entrance, because if you go to the other video, you probably see that entrance anyway and what it's supposed to look like. But I should have probably taken a video of this before that tree got knocked down blocking the trail, because it was nice to have two different trails in here. Well, actually there's 3 different entrances and 3 different exits. If you're coming from my house, there's 2 entrances, and those can also be 2 exits. And if you're coming from the road, which God rest your heart, bless your heart if you're coming from the road, I hope that you don't, unless you know these people and they're your family, because we don't like trespassers, because I have kids and I have to keep them safe. But that is the entrance, the one main entrance from the road or exit. So anyway, here's the sign for Mount Lydia Memorial Garden, established 2020, and that goes back that way, where we just came from while I was fussing at you guys about trespassing. And then we're gonna go this way. Let's go forward. I can see all these beautiful leaves. You can't tell me it's not fall already. I know, it's still summer. It's August, what day is today? I don't know, 16th maybe? And to me it's fall, because the rain has knocked all of the leaves down onto the ground, and they are in the cemetery, being gorgeous. Mount Lydia Church Cemetery, established 1870. On the other side of this sign, it's actually, it says Sarah's Garden. It's an old sign. I just repurposed it because I don't have a lot of materials. Nobody's giving me money for anything. I use my own money, which is very, very limited. Or Brian's money, which is also very limited because we have to take